Glenn, Angel and Tim. The Big Show on Kiss 92.
Good morning, Singapore. Thank you so much for joining us live on Facebook as well as YouTube right now. I think everyone is looking nice and fresh after the past few days. Although we shouldn't be looking nice and fresh because everyone's been
partying
so much.
And we've been working. We've been here.
And galloping into the brand new year of the horse.
That's right. So how are you feeling, Dr. Martha Tara Lee, our sexologist?
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, how is the start of the brand new year been?
That's great. Yeah, I caught up with my family.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
Did you eat a lot? Did you party a lot? Did you find out things about your your relatives and stuff like that?
No, just show face.
Just show face.
Most importantly, did you get up to anything sexy over the last couple of days?
I binged on Love is Blind.
Okay, that's
All
sexy.
right.
Okay.
Italy, France, and Germany.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. So
Well-
today we're talking about situationships, right?
Yes,
Okay.
that's right.
Let's define a situationship because there are many different definitions.
Okay, actually, before you get into that, I want to read this out, which a listener actually texted in earlier. Okay, you tell me what you think of his definition and whether or not it is accurate. Okay? So Wayne texted in earlier and he said, a situationship is a relationship trial version with all the feelings included and none of the strings attached.
Yeah,
okay.
it's not wrong, but I'm not sure whether it's a trial because a trial means it's going to lead to something else when in most situations there is no commitment, no timeline, the future is not discussed.
No end goal.
Yeah. So the trial will actually lead to a situationship.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But is there a difference between, say, a situationship? Because we mentioned this earlier, between a situationship and friends with benefits. Is there a difference?
Yeah, I think friends with benefits, you are friends, and then sex is the benefit. But in situationship, there is, wait, let me check. There is a very low romance.
Oh,
So in
Okay.
terms of like in emotional connection.
That's right, that's right.
okay.
Well, on Google, just because everyone's going to Google situationship definition, it says it's a romantic or sexual relationship that lacks clear definition, commitment, or long-term direction.
Which is a headache, don't you
So
think?
it's not ending up anywhere. There is
Yeah.
no end goal.
Okay.
Yeah, because when you have feelings, you do want to start envisioning a future. You want to spend more time with the person.
For sure, yeah.
Now, what if we flip it around? What if, because we talk usually about, there's physicality, not very much emotions, but what if it is a situation where there's plenty of feelings, but no physicality? What do we call that? Is that also a situation?
It's a loser situation.
That's called a marriage, Glenn would say.
I didn't say it. You said
I
it.
said that's what Glenn would say.
Not all summer.
You can probably just call it sex buddy or something.
No, but I mean, if you got all the emotions, but got no sex, the
No
feelings.
Sex, no sex. Yeah, marriage maybe.
I would just call that tragic.
The expert has said it as well.
All right, let's continue to talk to Dr. Martha Lee on The Big Show TV. Meantime, here's Kalani with After Hours on Kiss 92.
Okay, situationships. Are there any benefits to having a situationship?
It's convenient. It suits both of you. But I think what happens with a lot of relationships that are not defined is you expect it to go somewhere, dating with the intent of marriage, but one party feels different. And usually you have someone who's conflict avoidant in that, so they leave things very undefined and vague. Yeah. so
Okay, but I mean, a lot of relationships could start off that way, or there are couples who've been together, and it's not that they're not in a serious relationship, okay? But if you're talking about the end goal, like where is this going to lead? A lot of times they'll say, I could be open to marriage, but I'm not ready yet, because one of them does not have an end date, or I know within 2 years we need to get a house, we need to get married. If you just don't know, does that automatically mean you're in a situationship?
I think that comes with the intent, because it can be talked about. There is some kind of a plan, but I think in situationship that this whole conversation is just totally avoided, or there's an agreement to just not have a agreement.
Having experienced like different types of relationships over the past year and a half, I can tell you that the worst type of relationship is a situationship. I feel that way because it's very
It's very undefined.
it's undefined. It doesn't it doesn't make you feel happy and free.
It's like, are we exclusive? Are we in an open
Yeah.
relationship? Is this going anywhere? Is this not going anywhere? Are you expecting me to be all yours? You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You don't understand all the bits. But what you said earlier about somebody saying, yeah, I will eventually get married, but I don't have a date, I think that's a cop-out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's someone who just wants to have his cake or her cake and eat it too.
Yeah, but at the same time, it also depends on at what point you have this conversation,
Of
right? I mean,
course,
if
yeah.
you're only 2 weeks into a relationship and you're already talking about marriage, right?
Run.
It's already, exactly. It's like, okay, I totally accept. We are in a situationship. It's
Yeah.
only been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The booty call kind of relationship is the best.
You
Yeah.
call and they come.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
Preferably.
that is the basic. Yeah, that's
You know what I mean?
the.
And for one reason alone.
Yeah, it's like, hey, what
Right.
are you doing tonight? Okay, I'll come over, and then you know what's happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And at the end of whatever the day, the night, and all that, you go, and then that's it. You
Yeah.
don't need to call me and tell me you miss me. You
Yeah.
don't need to say what you're having for lunch and all that. All
Right.
that is not included.
Do you
right?
think
You're
perhaps...
free, want to hang out, that's it.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
it's
it.
like you don't have to call the person for the next 2 weeks, but
And-
then there's no no like emotions.
So once you're not together, you're not in touch.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's clear cut.
I'm wondering, do you think as well that perhaps, okay, I don't want to say in recent times, because this has probably been going on for quite a while, that people, when they get into relationships, they are not quite as formal as they used to be. Because now you don't have the, will you go steady with me? Will you be my boyfriend? Will you be my girlfriend? You know, many people, they just start dating, they just start getting closer. Before you know it, they're in a relationship, but they've never had any form of a conversation to talk about motivations, what
Where they
their
wanna
plans
go.
are.
I would still use those terms though, because those terms are very, very clear. Like, if I like someone, you want to go steady, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it may sound a bit
Yeah.
like funny because it's a term that we used to use
In
back in the
long time
day,
ago.
right?
1920s.
But it clearly defines the relationship already.
Yeah.
So I think the pre-app era is people are more inclined to be exclusive sooner. But I think post-app people are delaying being exclusive, go with the flow. And this is, I feel, very, very vague and actually creates a lot of anxiety and also the disconnect, like, oh, I don't hear from this person for 2-3 weeks and then you just want sex. So it can feel, it can bring up abandonment issues.
But it's okay if both people are on the same page.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, and unfortunately, until you have that conversation, one person will always be left wondering, which is why I was saying that, do you all actually define and say we are in a situationship now, or versus like we are just doing a booty call, or are we friends with benefits? Like, I think all these terms, even though they have slight different distinctions, it still is a term that can create some kind of placement. Like, okay, now I know I'm in this kind of a box.
But I also feel if people are going to say stuff like that, like, okay, we are in a situationship, or this is purely a booty call, or whatever, however you want to label it, you need to also define what that label means to you.
Yeah.
Because each person has a different sort
Definition
of
of the
definition
term.
of it, right? Because some girl might think, oh, booty call means once a week.
Yes.
When you like don't call for 6 months or something, you know?
But I mean, I also do get that it's a very intimidating question. I used to be very, very scared of those 4 words, I mean, and I would pray, I hope she never brings up these 4 words. And that is what are we now? You know what I mean? Because immediately when you say that, it's like, I don't know what you're expecting. I don't know what your intentions are. I don't know what you're expecting from me to say.
Yeah.
But they're asking what you want.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, you also want to say something, preferably that's on the same vein of what she's thinking too, right? Otherwise,
Then you need to ask.
So you see, if there are 2 of you,
Yeah.
the way you are thinking,
Yes.
right, then it becomes a situationship. You know what I mean? Where, okay, obviously there are feelings.
Yes.
But then, you don't want to define it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And neither does she. So
Yeah.
then you're in a perfect situationship.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's always one-sided.
Yeah.
And then that situationship becomes unpleasant.
Yeah.
And I do feel as well, it depends on what age you are. I suppose when you are younger, that period before you have that discussion can be a bit longer. But if you are dating someone who is older, and I'm sorry to generalize, but if you are dating a female who is maybe in her mid-30s, or past her mid-20s, where they more often than not, they want some sort of
Commitment.
commitment. Yes, right. You can't take your time as much as you would if you were still a teenager, because you don't want to waste your time either.
TikTok.
That's right. That's
I
right.
agree. Okay, sorry, traffic coming up.
Kiss 92 traffic.
On Brattle Road towards Bartley, right where we are actually, a broken down vehicle has been spotted after Lorong 6, Topayo. Avoid lane 3. Let us know what that's about. Also on the PIE towards Changi, an accident at the exit to Jalan Yunus. On Yishun Avenue 1 towards Street 43 after Seletar West Link. Avoid lane 2. An accident also has been spotted there. If you see anything else this Thursday morning, let us know. 885550
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for this morning and every Thursday morning is Dr. Martha Tara Lee, our sexologist. And today we're talking about situationships, why people stay in undefined relationships, because they're crazy.
I like what Tim brought up though. He says he's so afraid of those 4 words like what are we now? You know, like a girl would ask or a guy would ask the other person. But I feel, and you were saying you were so scared to say, okay, you're my girlfriend now, or you're my steady, or you're
We're
my partner, or
exclusive. We'll get
something.
married in 10 years.
Because you don't know what the other party
Yes.
is expecting, right? But isn't that what the problem is, that everyone's playing guessing games, like
Yeah.
what the other person is expecting?
Yeah, picking out on the signs and doing second guessing. That's so exhausting.
So what should we do to eliminate those guessing games?
Just be honest. Be honest with the person. If they have the courage to ask, they want an honest answer, not the answer that you think they want.
Yeah. Is there ever a case where it's too soon to have that conversation?
I don't think it's too soon, although I have to say, when people ask me on dating apps now what I'm looking for, and I say I'm looking for a long-term relationship, they immediately
Run.
unfriend me. Yeah.
Oh no, yeah.
Like, there's no conversation, you know. It's almost like there's something wrong in being upfront and say, I want a long-term relationship.
Maybe that's just not what they're looking for.
Yeah, it's not what they're looking for, but you can be nice about it and not just immediately unfriend me and like,
They're feeling
it's
awkward.
very jarring.
I know, I guess to them, I mean, I'm not defending their behavior, but I guess to people like that, whoever you may be, I'm talking to you, it could be, I just don't want to waste time because it's not what I'm looking for.
Yes, so
I'm looking for a booty call or a
yes.
situationship.
Yeah, so not a second to spare and don't even want to talk to you anymore.
That's
So
it,
Just
yeah.
block you.
Do you get hurt by stuff like that, or would you rather them say a little bit more, or you're okay with the...
I think there's always a nicer way to do things and just be nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So wait, so are you for situationships?
I'm not really like for or against. I think this is just where different people are at, and whatever decisions they make, they just need to go in with their eyes open. Like what are they really wanting? End of the day, don't lie to themselves, or don't go along with a situationship just because you like that person very much and you hope they change their mind down the road.
Yeah.
So that's that emotional time opportunity cost, right?
But do you
Yeah.
see situationships as something healthy that you would recommend? Because I think it's a no-no. For me,
I think it
there's
can
no way.
work if it's mutual. And
Yeah.
the reason why we're bringing this up on this show today is because after Valentine's Day, maybe you got together and you're wondering like what actually that means. So that person can be loving, but is the person really, even if the person is loving and in love with you, doesn't mean they want a future with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
only just met the person. To me, a situationship has to be something that
Extended period of time?
has gone on for months already. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
if not, before that, you're still like, okay, maybe getting
Having
to know
fun.
each other, having fun, you know. But a situationship is a little bit more serious. There's like a long-term, well, not long-term as in years,
Midterm.
but for months now. You know, you're going out and not knowing what we are.
But I guess what Dr. Martha said earlier as well is that some people are going to go in because they really, really like the person and they're going to appease that person
Yep.
by whatever the situationship might be, in the hope that they will eventually change that person's mind to end up with them for good.
Yeah, because sometimes
You
when
know?
you're in the start of a relationship, you really, really like somebody. You are
Yeah.
overwhelmed.
You're gonna do
by
anything,
your
right?
feelings.
That's
You're-
easy. Just go steadier.
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean,
but
that's
just
the
go
natural
steady
thing.
means exclusive,
And
right?
the other
Correct.
person might not want that.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, okay.
The-
If that person doesn't want that, then then
Don't do
you're
it.
not going to be in a situationship, right?
True.
Because I mean, you both need to agree on that.
Yeah,
I
but
say just go steady. It doesn't work, just break off.
I feel like honesty as well. I mean, yes, at the end of the day, honesty is the best policy when we approach it from a logical, rational point of view. But once again, I think when you are in the moment where feelings, you really like somebody, sometimes having conversations like this, you fear scaring them away. You know, because
When
you
it's
don't
too
know
serious.
what they're going to be thinking of. They'll be like, they might go like, we just met, we
Yeah.
just started dating, and you're thinking of that. You know, you might chase them away, and then you'll be like, should I keep my mouth shut? Right?
Yeah, this creates a lot of anxiety, right? The push-pull, kind of like trying to reel in a fish. Yeah,
Yes.
it's tiring, right?
I mean, don't start anything you can't finish.
That's true
Like
as well.
I always say, if you're not physically attracted to the person, then what situationship?
Yeah.
But maybe they are too physically
It's all-
attracted to the person. That's why they don't want to talk more. They don't want to have that more serious conversation because they don't want to lose out on any potential physicality.
So usually they are sexually
Okay.
compatible. That's why they sustain this situation. But it does affect their self-worth. You can have emotional burnout. You can start feeling attached but don't feel secure. You can bring up your abandonment issues. So definitely it may not be for some people.
Okay. All right. Let's continue to talk to Martha on the Big Show TV. It's 9:23.
Kiss 92 Time Check brought to you by
Do you find situationships in affairs, or are these single people?
Oh, I would call them affairs.
Affairs. So
okay.
no, I mean like married people having a situationship. That's where you find most
I would
situationships.
call it an affair.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I think a situationship has to do with people who really are equals, you know, like I don't know, like with affairs it's cheating.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, to that note, I mean, I'm glad Angel brought that up because somebody actually texted and said, please help me ask Dr. Martha, can it ever be normal and healthy for a married person to be in a situationship with another, ever?
No,
No.
absolutely
Yeah.
not.
What Martha
no,
just
absolutely
said.
not.
Yeah.
No.
Normal
It's an
or
affair.
healthy.
There's affairs and
Affairs
then
is
there's
an affair.
open marriages. So if you are in agreement, then yeah, you can be in a situationship because there's agreement.
Oh my God, that's also really messed up. Like open marriages.
But I mean, a lot of people.
They want to stay together.
No, the
Yeah.
older farts can do the open what do you call marriages, but the younger ones, they're now younger married couples who are in open relationships. I think that's like a recipe for disaster.
So why old versus new?
Because the old ones don't have sex anymore. You know what I mean? So it's easier for them to just.
Or is it maturity? Is it maturity of relationship or maturity of age or is it just the sex? You know what I mean?
I think it's comes down to whether or not you can control your emotions. Like, for instance, regardless of whether the old ones or the young ones, if you have a couple, right, and both of them, I couldn't do it. I'll tell you straight, I couldn't do it, right? But perhaps they can really compartmentalize. This is emotional. This is physical.
Right.
I can separate the two. I can have a situationship with somebody else just to fulfill my
Needs.
physical needs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there will be no emotion to that. That I save. That is special for my partner, for
I
my
couldn't.
married, for my wife. Yeah.
I don't know. I think like when I mentioned like the older ones, right? Because they've been married for so long, so they're not really physically attracted to each other anymore.
But they're still in love with each other.
But yeah, but they're still in love.
Yeah.
You know, they've invested so much in the family and stuff like that. But they have to fulfill their needs. So you know, in an open so-called
They
relationship,
bring a third person into the picture.
yeah, and I mean they don't
Whatever
have to
works,
come
right?
together,
Yeah.
but they both know what's happening, you know, outside, as long as you don't get that other person involved in the family and whatnot.
But
you
that
know.
has the potential to become a situationship, right? Where then those outside people, you start to have feelings for them. You know what I mean? As this couple
I think less likely if you're an old fart.
Is that true?
No, it's true because at that point, what you want is just a physicality.
But there's
That's
still,
all.
but you cannot stop your emotions. I feel no matter what age you are,
I feel there are
still
some people who
emotions.
probably can, and probably not us for sure. But I think there are people that, which is why we've heard about people being in open relationships. Which is why I want to ask Dr. Martha, in your experience, whether professionally or personally, have you met couples in open relationships who have been relatively successful in maintaining these open relationships, and what do you think allowed them to do it?
I have met an older couple who decided to be in a situationship at first, but through the intimacy, the dates that they go on, they develop more and more emotional intimacy, and then now they're willing to become a committed couple.
So they're not married
They're
otherwise,
not married,
right?
They're not married.
Right, okay.
So it's not true that only younger people find themselves in situationships. Sometimes they use their mind to say, okay, I don't want to be in a committed relationship. I don't want the obligation. I just want the fun. But then
Your heart.
feelings develop. And so that things can change.
Okay, but I'm talking about open relationships, meaning they're married, but they're allowed to see other people outside of their marriage.
So you're asking if there are successful
Yes.
marriages in open relationships that
I
you've seen?
think it's possible because we are humans with emotions. So emotions can develop, and you may find yourself in love with your the other person that you're dating, and that's fine. Also, it's just making a decision of where you want to place your commitment.
You see, but I don't understand why people can't define what is right and what is wrong. To me, it's very clear what's right and what's wrong.
But what's right and what's
if you're
wrong
in a
is,
mar-
is
if
relative.
no,
It's
if you're in a
subjective.
marriage, then you have to stay loyal to your spouse. It's as simple as that.
What if your
There's
spouse
no
was-
such thing. If
Yes.
you want to be in an open relationship, right, open marriage, then don't get
Yeah,
married.
but it also depends on the vows that they took, right? I mean, we're traditionalists saying, okay, you get married in a church or a temple or wherever
Yeah.
it is, or maybe just a justice of peace, and you have no vows. You're just like, okay, I vow to love you forever and ever.
Yeah.
That's it, right? It doesn't mean I vow to not love other people as well,
Yeah.
or I vow to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you need to stay faithful to each other if you are married.
yeah,
Also,
no, I agree.
it could be the reason they got married. Let's face it. We know some people got married out of convenience, right? Wanted to get a flat.
a lot of people do,
Right,
that, especially here.
You know,
yeah.
but that is to their extent to what they value.
Yeah.
The sanctity of marriage.
Yeah,
right?
but that's still no excuse. I truly believe if you wanna have a relationship with someone else, or then get a divorce.
Yeah, get out for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Because if you're still in the marriage and you are having an affair with someone, that is not right.
And no one ends up happy when an affair is involved.
Yeah.
There are multiple broken families.
And it's going to play on
you
your
know?
conscience as
Yeah, for
well.
sure,
Why
yeah.
do something that is going to bite you in your ass?
And
somewhere
it
along the way?
never turns out fine.
Yeah.
So even
Never does.
if you both agree, okay, fine. You want to go on your work trips. You want to fool around when you're in another country.
No, but that's an open
Yeah, I'm talking
agreement.
about open.
That's an open agreement.
I want to know. Do you think that is ever a good idea? Is it possible for that
I don't
to work
think
out?
There
What?
are also people who
Open-
agree. There are also people who agree on don't ask, don't tell. Like I don't ask, so you don't tell me.
Yeah.
I know this is going on, but I don't want the details.
Like you're talking
No.
about secret affairs, right? Whatever affairs not working, but he's talking about agreed upon open relationship
No.
where you know that somebody is
Yeah.
screwing around
No,
and
no
stuff.
wife or husband should allow their other halves to go and play and I don't
Okay.
want to know what's going on. Look, if that happens, right? But no one should be giving each other permission to do that in a marriage.
Okay, this is what Glenn thinks. Okay, I'm thinking that if there's loyalty, but it becomes a form of duty and suffering, then what is the point of that?
But that's a marriage for you. If you're committed, then you need to be committed
Get
to
a
each
divorce.
other. Then if you don't want that, then get a divorce.
Yes. So-
I'm not encouraging divorce here, but I'm just saying.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, I get what you're
what
saying.
is right and what is wrong.
And
I mean,
so-
try and work it out, but if you can't, then
and so the commitment should involve working together through the issue.
Of course.
Maybe going for therapy, working on your communication, all the other things. But what happens a lot of times is I do find people going into cheating or as an excuse not to deal with the issue, saying they want an open marriage without really wanting to work on their communication so that open relationship can be possible.
so just an excuse
Yeah.
to screw around.
Yeah. No, and I think one of the reasons why I asked you earlier on at the beginning of this conversation is what do you call, a situation where there may be no sexual activity, but there are feelings involved. Do we still consider that a situation? Because we will see this, and we can see this many times. Married couples, right? But then I like somebody. I'm crushing on maybe a
Emotional
colleague.
affair. We would call it emotional affair.
Okay, but I'm not having sex with her, but I do. But there are feelings with her, right? So do you consider that affair a situationship?
No, emotional affair we would call it.
Emotional
Because
affair.
most of the time your partner wouldn't know.
Right.
And it can be just as devastating because a lot of people have it in their heads that, oh, sex is just sex, you know, it's fine if it's a one-night stand. So harm reduction. It's less harmful if it's paid sex, things like that.
Yeah.
But I feel that people shouldn't run away from the real issue. Don't run away from yourself.
Okay. Going for a traffic update.
And academia.
Those were your news headlines from the Straits Times. Read more at straitstimes.com.
The Big Show. Kiss 92. Kiss 92 traffic.
On Ang Mo Kio Avenue 5, heading towards Upper Thompson and Thompson after the CTE, an accident is taking up space in lane 3. Also on the SLE towards the CTE, another accident at the exit to Lentor Avenue. And finally on Brattle Road towards Bartley, another accident after Lorong 6 Topayo. Avoid lane 3. Roads might be wet, so please be extra cautious. Do not road hog and do not tailgate. Let us know if you spot anything. 885550
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for this morning is Dr. Martha Lee, our sexologist. We're talking about situationships, defining it, and I think we realize now there are so many different definitions of a situationship.
Yes, that's hookups, there's sex buddy, friends with benefits,
Booty
and then
calls.
situationship. Yes, booty calls.
Affairs.
Emotional affairs, and whatnot. So actually, 30 to 50% of people are in undefined relationships, according to Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge. 30 to 40% actually say that they have been in at least one situationship. So it's actually getting more common than we realize.
So that's what Facebook needs to have now, if anyone still uses Facebook. Remember before it used to be in a relationship, married, divorced, or whatever. Now it needs to have situationship as well.
Why are there
Or
so many
undefined,
definitions?
right? Yeah, exactly.
It's complicated.
It's
I'm wondering,
complicated.
Can we have in this day and age an AI situationship? Because there are AI girlfriends and stuff like that already.
AI
Is that considered?
Oh my
AI
God.
companions.
Your emotions. You know, I marry someone and my heart is no longer with that someone. It is now with this other being, whether it's AI or real, right? Your heart no longer belongs to that person.
So-
It's a real thing though.
Yeah,
You laugh at it, but it's a real thing.
Yeah,
AI is not real.
People are getting married to these AI beings as well, you know?
That's right.
Yeah,
my-
they are.
What is this world coming to?
Exactly.
It's true. You get your emotional needs met, and then you just go on with your life. So sometimes they are in a situation where they do not want to commit, and then they turn to AI for advice, for companionship. And I think what happens is your social skills will start to atrophy.
It's like that movie with ScarJo and Joaquin Phoenix. What was that? Where she was an AI robot. Do you remember that?
Yes.
You
Her.
remember?
I think it was her.
Her, yeah.
You know what I mean? If let's say some people who are married decide, okay, I want to go for an AI relationship, it means that your marriage is truly a failure.
Or maybe they're
Because-
looking to spice things up.
No, because a lot of the time you need that physical touch. You need another person's body. You know, you need that warmth.
Or-
but if you're talking about just an AI thing in place of your actual marriage, your real relationship, that means your real marriage must really be horrible.
Or they're getting all the physicality from their marriage,
Yeah.
their real marriage, and none of the emotions, and they turn to AI for the full-on emotion, where the AI will agree with everything that they say and contribute to what they want to be, that listening ear and stuff like that. There are situations like that, I'm sure.
So it's back to what Dr. Martha was saying, and a situation like that would still, even though it's AI, called an emotional affair with a virtual companion.
That's right, because it's behind your partner's back. So
What if it's
yeah,
not behind your partner's back?
your partner knows?
Yes.
I'm not sure many people will want that.
Yeah.
But isn't that like porn?
Okay, it's a different form of
Stimulation.
satisfaction and stimulation.
Right.
Yeah.
So if one party is like watching porn, or is that also cheating on each other?
Depends, but I think a lot of couples don't see it that way.
Is it behind their back? That's the question.
All right, let's continue to talk to Martha on The Big Show TV. Meantime, here's Pitbull with I Know You Want Me right here on Kiss 92.
It's Mr. 305 checking in for the remix. You know they had that 75 Street Brazil. Well, this year's gonna be called Calle Ocho. Que hola gata, que hola omega. And this how we gonna do it. Dale! 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. I know you want me. You know I want ya. I know you want me. You know I want ya. I know you want me. You know I want ya. I know you want me. You know I want ya. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Rumba, ella quiere su rumba. Rumba, ella quiere su rumba. Si es verdad que tú eres guapa, yo te voy a poner a gozar. Tú tienes la boca grande, dale, ponte a jugar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Stick to the taco.
So in this particular case, because it's
Emotional.
long distance, it's more of an emotional affair. Even though you can say respect boundaries and things like that, but the pining, the longing, the forbiddenness of it,
The fantasy.
The thinking, yeah.
you just need to not make it so complicated and just think, if my partner knew about this, how would they feel?
Yeah.
And I think that's the key to whether this is beneficial on the long run.
And this could lead to meeting somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
You
the
know.
fact that you keep it a secret means it is wrong in that sense. It wrong towards your own relationship.
Yeah, the fact that it's hidden and
Yeah.
you definitely would not want your partner to know.
So sad, right? I
think
feel like
that's
it's
a-
It
It's
is
so messed up.
painful, and it's painful for both, for
Yeah.
everybody.
I think that's a good, I suppose, a North Star, something you can count on to measure your actions. Is what would my partner say
Yeah.
if they found out?
I mean, it's like you, before asking a parent whether you can do something, or before asking a partner whether you can do something, it's almost like you already know the answer. So if you already know the answer to that, then it's already a no.
Oh, goddamn,
You know what
this
I mean?
conscience of ours.
It's already a no.
I think now with younger generation dating later, you don't miss what you don't have. So I think that's different with what Glenn is saying, because it's not the same. It's not the same. We have physical needs. But the thing is, if your sexual awakening hasn't really happened, you can't miss what you don't have.
That's true.
So they don't know what they have missed, and they're quite okay with it. So maybe they're getting their needs met through AI, and they're fine with it. So this is why I'm really concerned about the younger generation. We are actually having less sex. We are dating later. We are abstaining for sex even. And the prioritization of our career, and then smaller social circles, it is actually becoming more challenging for younger folks out there.
And the rise of AI as well. You know what I mean?
AI.
More digital stuff.
A couple of weeks ago, we were talking about asexuality, right? People who just have no sexual needs or feelings at all. Could being in a relationship with an asexual person lead to situationships in the background? And maybe because your partner, because earlier on, Glenn, you were talking about, oh, that's a bad idea, you should never do it, especially if, you need to depend on something outside of your marriage. But supposing one of the members in that relationship is asexual, does not feel sexual needs at all, and is totally okay with their partner going out and satisfying their stimulation and their needs elsewhere, that's a situationship that could work, right?
With consent.
Yeah, with consent.
A
as long as they're
consensual
aware.
situationship.
Yeah, I think as long as you're open and you understand where the boundaries are, and you've made it clear as to what you're comfortable with and what you're not comfortable with, and your partner agrees, then it's no longer an affair, right?
Yeah.
It's an understanding.
I think the younger generation are just much more savvy in understanding all these terms, the boundaries. They are able to have more access to resources online, workshops and whatnot. So they are much more capable of advocating for themselves. I think there's a widening gap between the younger generation and their parents. So their parents are not keeping up with what is actually going on the ground.
Yeah.
I guess it's all about your conscience, right? I mean, if you can live with it, then
Go ahead.
so be it.
Yeah.
Right? You because everyone has their needs, I guess. You know, but the only reason why I was saying like that's a right and a wrong is because I feel like, you know, there are too many people like in open relationships, and these are two healthy people in an open marriage, you know, and I just don't feel that that's right. If one party maybe is unwell, and knows that
Like
that
critically
their partner,
unwell,
and their partner has their needs and okay, you know, allows them to do, that's completely fine. But I was just talking about in general. More and more people I ask, especially the younger married couples, seem to be in open relationships.
It's like having your cake and eating it too. Because if you are healthy, libido-driven individuals, why aren't you having sex with each other?
Correct.
You know?
Exactly.
Or why are you married?
We're still online, right? This is not on air.
Yeah.
It could also be, you know, a fetish, right? A fantasy. We've heard of that term, cuckolds, right?
Cuckolds,
You know, one of the partner actually gets turned on by his or her partner, you know,
with someone
physically
else.
engaging in some activity with somebody else.
Okay, but I mean,
That's not an open relationship, though. That's like a one-time thing, right?
But I
It
think
can be a lifestyle.
It can be
I mean,
like-
but for people with those fetishes, you know, I think they are the minority. I mean, they're not really the people that we're talking about. But I mean, if that's what turns them on and they are like that by nature, then sure, go ahead. But in terms of the general, you know, population and people who are in, you know, regular marriages, right? That's who I think, you know,
Need help.
we're talking about, right?
Bro, what if we are now the minority? How scary would that be?
I don't think so, though.
What
I don't
if we
think
are
What
the
does
so.
Martha
minority?
think? She's a sexologist. I mean, she comes across all these cases. So, I mean, conventional marriages. Is that now
Minority?
The minority?
Yeah, I think we assume that open marriages is a Western kind of concept, but in reality, this is happening. It's just that a lot of couples choose to stay private about what is going on behind closed doors.
Okay, let's come up one last time.
Kiss 92 traffic.
On Tiong Bahru Road, heading towards Tangling Road, look out for a broken down vehicle after Lenki Road, avoid lane 3. Also on Ang Mo Kio Avenue 5, heading towards Upper Thomson, after the CTE, an accident in lane 3. Same situation on the SLE towards the CTE after the exit to Lentor Avenue, an accident. And finally on Bradle Road towards Bartley, that accident still there after Lorong 6 Topayo, avoid lane 3. Stay safe today.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. We have been speaking to our sexologist, Dr. Martha Tara Lee. Now, before we let you go, Martha, what are the stats these days in terms of men and women getting married? Has the age gone up?
Yeah, the age has gone up. In Singapore, for women, it's on average about 28.8, and for males, 30.4. So yes, it is increasing. There are a lot of life challengers, but I do want to say for a long-term relationship to work, there are actually certain things that a lot of people do recognize. It's the person they're dating, they just don't see that long-term compatibility. So it includes lifestyle alignment, social needs, financial habits, work schedules, cleanliness, family expectations. So a lot goes into choosing a life partner, which I think situationships can work with people for a time. So instead of looking for Mr. Right or Miss Right, it can be Mr. Miss Right Now.
Right now.
You know, and I think at one time we were talking about like, okay, before getting married, you know, you should cohabit maybe for a little while. Do you still think that's a good idea? Because I think it's not necessary.
I think it's a great
Because
idea.
even if you
Yeah.
cohabit, your relationship goes haywire, you get a divorce.
Then you
know, you might as well just go in, you know, and just, I mean, for...
But it gives you that time to kind of work out, is this going to, are we going to be able to live with this person forever and ever?
Yeah.
And then get married. But if you get married and then move in together and then you're like, oh, I
And to
really
some-
don't like the way she
But
has
what
a
if
shower.
it becomes a
Yeah.
pattern and you end up like having so many people you have been cohabiting with?
then it's up to you. I mean, people can cohabit with as many people as they want.
And to some degree, cohabitation is also a form of commitment as well. You wouldn't
It
just
is.
let anybody move in with you or share a living space with somebody.
And it's
right?
not like a 6-month thing, you know what I mean? It's you go through them until you find the one that fits, right?
No.
No, what do you mean?
That's like being so open.
Not really.
And that's why,
I'm not talking about
and
marriages.
that's why you compare, and sometimes, you know, when you eventually get married, then things fall apart. Like I wish more people would just stay like virgins and then they get married. I know you're laughing at me, but it's true, because you go into that marriage, right, and this is your partner, you know.
Yeah, but that's not the world we live in now,
the
you
touch,
know.
the expectations
all
of,
you know.
of each other. Yeah, exactly.
No,
Yeah,
it's
there's
not
also the shock, right, of not having the person in your space. Actually, about 60% of in Western countries, people do cohabit. I think it is less common here. However, because of space constraints, I do know a lot of couples actually they cohabit because of housing, because they are migrants, and so it's just easier. But if you live together too soon, there are too many things to tackle at the same time as
too
well.
soon, yeah, for sure, yeah.
If I had kids, I would encourage them to just stay
Apart.
pure,
Pure.
and then get married, and then that's it.
All this talk about partners, I'm wondering who is my partner here. So
But
surprising.
it is true. You know, I that is how I feel.
Okay.
But, you know,
But it is scary. I feel like the world is changing so quickly. I mean, you know, the patterns, the thoughts, you know, how people live, what is now considered conventional, what is considered okay, what is considered outdated. Sometimes it's scary.
Go back to traditional, like teach
Yeah.
Charlie.
Yes,
Traditional
I hope
values
so.
again.
Yeah,
Because
because
it's
there are
just-
days I wake up and I go, oh my God, we're already having issues like this now. I can't even imagine the kind of issues I'm going to be dealing with when he's a teenager, when he becomes a young adult.
He's going to become a tween very soon.
Yeah.
Look out for that.
Okay, Martha, anything? We're closing now. Any last words? Encouraging words, maybe, to people who are in a situationship right now and are feeling a little confused.
Yes, it is common, normal to feel confused. So this is where counseling comes in and supports you to get clarity. What I want to say is a lot of times people base situationships on chemistry, the connection, the attachment, but in reality, is this really sustainable? When you want to think about having a life partner, you want to think about compatibility and also the lifestyle. So think about longevity, because right now, is it really live for the moment or really like what you're looking for? And yeah, be honest, communicate. And if the other person continues to be avoidant, maybe that is already the answer that you're looking for.
Red flag.
Okay, thank you so much, Martha, for joining us today. And
Thank
Kong Si Fa Chai.
Thank you. Happy New Year, everyone.
Glenn, Angel, and Tim. The Big Show.